Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
I'm Envy Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay.
And I'm Kozi.
Guys, it's here. It's tournament time.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
Tournament Hawk!
The pain train has got into the station, and it is time for the Mahou Shoujo Showdown. We have 32 magical girl shows that we're going to be watching over the next couple of weeks to determine who among them is the best, or at least our favorite amongst... Oh, it's going to be so much. So anyway, we watched 8 shows this week from the Dynamic Duos and Locked and Loaded brackets. They're all going to be facing off against one another here and there. Each of them got one episode. For these first 4 weeks, it's one episode. You got one to impress us, and if you don't, you're gone. We'll be doing categories in later weeks, like we normally do, and a couple other things. But yeah, for now, it's sudden death, and there's a lot on the chopping block right now. So, how is everybody feeling right now?
I'm pumped. I'm ready.
Sounds like some excitement, some trepidation.
Some fear.
I mean,
Kinda
I'm
like
feeling pretty good.
constipation.
This is a genre I like. So, yay.
That's good.
This is a genre.
This is normally a genre I like.
I think I've only seen like 3 shows from this whole thing, so
Same.
it's a genre I just don't know very well.
I think I may have heard of like 5 shows from this whole bracket.
This is a genre I'm cursorily aware of. So,
I would say out of everything I've read, I've seen maybe half of these. How about you, Cheebs?
Do you mean what we watched this week, or like everything?
Out of all 32.
Let's see. Out of everything, I would say I've at least seen or read about like maybe 8 of these? Maybe.
that's a good portion.
But
compared to everyone else.
As far as what we watched this week, I only have really ever seen one of these before, and I've read the manga for it as well. And honestly, as far as for all 32, I know generally of them, even if I haven't watched them.
Okay. Quick thing before we really get into it. I do need to make a correction from last week. So last week, I called one of the brackets Papa Xanax because it's a bracket filled with depression. Xanax is an anti-anxiety medication. What I should have said...
Zoloft.
Well, I was going to say Papa Prozac for the alliteration.
There you go.
So
That works.
Yeah.
we're going to be changing it to that because that's an actual depression medication. So yes. Anywho, why don't we get into it? We're gonna talk about these shows briefly. We only got one episode, so I'm gonna give everybody just what the show is that we watched, and we're gonna go around, give our thoughts on it, and we're gonna see who it's matched up against, give that description, give our thoughts, determine a winner, and we're just gonna keep going through that for the first 8 shows. Our contestants this week. From the Dynamic Duos, we have Revolutionary Girl Utena versus Pretty Cure, and Panty and Stocking versus the Demon Girl Next Door. And from the Locked and Loaded bracket, we got Shakugan no Shana versus Magical Destroyers, and Granbelm versus Magical Girl Spec-Ops Asuka. Do we just want to jump in?
Yes.
Might as well
Okay.
do it.
It's gonna be a long day. So let's get it over with. All right. So Revolutionary Girl Utena. Just going to give you a quick synopsis here. As a child, Utena Tenjo was rescued by a gallant prince on a white horse. Since then, Utena wants to become a prince like him so she can find him. She arrives at the Otori Academy, where the student council faces off in sword duels to win Anthihimemia, the Rose Bride, because whoever possesses it will obtain the power to revolutionize the world. Utena becomes involved in duels to protect Anthi, and the two develop a deep bond. I'm gonna just let you know, I got a lot of these descriptions off of Mal
Was
and
this
IMDb
Wiki?
or something. So is it what?
Is it Wiki?
Oh, Wiki. Yeah, I mean, I guess those things kind of are in a way. So,
Yeah.
all right. So now we'll just get into the stuff. I'm going to start us off. So Revolutionary Girl Utena. My first thought when I watched this show was, this is like if Code Geass was a 90s soap opera. And I mean that in the best way possible. I kind of get where a lot of the people in this show are coming from. I mean, I've never been a high school girl, but I understand why all of them would be so into a tomboy who's 2/3 legs. It's this show is cheesy and fun and like very much a soap opera, kind of like everyone's an overdramatic mess in this, and it has the potential to be very entertaining. I think I'm aware this show will eventually get very serious, but right now it is so much of a soap opera, and I had a lot of fun watching it. Overall, I'm gonna give it a light yay. Gab, what were your thoughts?
When I took notes when I was watching this, first I distinguished the characters, then I wrote a little plot of what happened, then I wrote down like some key points.
This sounds like stuff you should be doing for the next couple weeks when we have categories.
Yeah, I was like, lesbians, pretty boys with long hair, revolutionary roses equals student council, and then I wrote down my favorite line from the show, because this is what did it for me, was Kiryu saying, "Oh yes, baby, you've lit the fire to my heart."
Yes.
At the very end of the episode.
The dub was so good with it.
Oh my god.
It was so funny,
It was
and
very dramatic.
it was very like cheesy and dramatic at the same time. I thought the writing like was kind of a little outdated, but like in a way that worked with this show. I liked that the characters were very distinguishable. The music was interesting. The scenery was kind of pretty. The animation, it's older, but it's like good for like, you know, what it's worth. And I'm really curious as to what will happen next, because, you know, this is the only episode of this show I've seen. So yeah, but I enjoyed it. I'd give it a yay.
Real quick, before you go, Yin, we should mention that I kind of tried to get a dub if we could get a dub. Not everything is dubbed because not everything came with one. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth a little bit between subs and dubs here. But overall, I think I found what I could find, quite frankly. So, Yin, go ahead.
Okay, so this is actually one of the probably 3 shows that I have seen before out of all of these, and I enjoy it. I like the characters. I agree that they're all pretty distinct and unique. I like the animation. It is old school, but I am a big fan of old school animation. And I also like those little like cutaway parts that they have that look like kind of I don't know how to say, almost stained glass windowy. Like that style is pretty cool, like they had in the beginning with like the fairy tale aspect. So I really think the stylization of this is really cool, and I like the music too. It's like so weird. The music is like unsettling, but it like sets an interesting mood. This show definitely like, especially the beginning and throughout, you know, it is pretty dramatic and like kind of cheesy. And I agree that like parts of it are kind of like outdated. This is old, but I really enjoy it. And I think there are lots of like interesting themes too about like gender nonconformity, abuse and subjugation and things like that. So I think like it has a lot of deep things in it, especially as you keep going and watching more. And I've seen the movie and stuff too, which is a totally different experience than the show.
The movie is rough.
It's wild. I don't know. The movie, the manga, and the show are all like completely different experiences. But just thinking about like the first episode of this, like, and taking out everything else I know about Utena, I enjoy it, and I would, you know, continue watching, which I did.
For my own understanding, is it Utena or Utena?
Utena.
I'm not going to get it right no matter what, but like, I'm just someone pronounce it correctly so that the people at the audience know.
Yeah, actually, the way it's pronounced is the way you would normally lean towards pronouncing Japanese names.
I don't know how to do that.
No. I'm saying you specifically tend to pronounce the syllables in this normally, like how you normally read Japanese names, specifically, Al.
Oh god, that sounds terrible.
Wow.
I'm just gonna call her
You
Utah.
try.
I'm gonna call her Utah. Chibi,
No.
Chibi, say something before I act even more like a moron.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was enjoying you acting like a moron, but all right.
Revolutionary Girl of Utah. Hey, nothing for nothing. That could be an American adaptation. Oh god, they're all Mormon then. Ugh.
Oh no.
You just call her by Tenjo, right?
Oh, because I'm gonna do better with that.
Wah, wah. So I would say for a show that is very unique and surreal, it actually gets the premise down like within the first episode pretty well. I love this art style, and I love all of the surreal aspects, like the puppet shadow puppet theater kind of things that they have, like, before each fight. And just, the music is real great. The ending and the opening, like, they live rent-free in my head. This dub was not my favorite.
It's weird.
It is weird.
It's from what, 95, 96?
It's old, yeah.
97?
This is pre-Cowboy Bebop.
baby.
Yeah.
I was like
Baby.
1 year old.
Oh my god. But I would say, like, there are a lot of themes that this explores, and I feel like for its time it was definitely, like, you know, pretty revolutionary and kind of eye-opening, and it's just good. It's just good. Yay!
Oh wait, did we get yays and nays from?
Oh,
you?
I might have forgotten, but I was a yay if that wasn't clear.
Yeah, I said yay.
So this was a show that I have heard before, and I heard, you know, really good things about, you know, like what Yin was saying, how it was like ahead of its time in a lot of ways, on how it was a prominent LGBTQ series in a time where that really wasn't a thing. And I had always wanted to check it out. Like other people said, there's some things that are dated, some things that aren't. I do like the old school style, but then I also cringe at some of the dialogue and some of the you know, the actions. But yeah, I mean, I did a little research on my own afterwards, and apparently it's like split up into like story arcs. So like there's like 4 or 5 main ones, and this one is kind of based on the student council. And so I'll be very interested to see, you know, okay, you thought the Kill la Kill student council was you know, insane with power. This one is like a military dictatorship almost. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it for the most part, and I would be interested to see, you know, Utena, you know, and her new relationship with the I forget the girl's name, but and her yeah, and her trying to work out, you know, their relationship. It's like, you know, you can be independent. What's that meaning? But yeah, I give it a light yay.
Okay, what did I write down in my notes? I liked that the intro was called, or at least the first words that it said was "Be Papas."
Oh, papas. Yeah.
Which, like, papa is Spanish for potato, so all I was thinking was "be a potato," like the whole opening.
This might have aged the best of all the shows.
Next thing I wrote down was gay, 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 gay.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
Yeah. I love girls that are princes. It's a good trope. I think it's rare, but I do enjoy that very much.
You spelled that really weird.
Yeah.
It's 3 letters.
I had a pen and I was
G-A-Y.
struggling. I was cackling when they were like, "You can't wear that uniform to school," and she was like, "It's good enough for the boys." I'm like, "Girl, none of the boys are wearing 2-inch inseam shorts."
Yeah. What?
Okay, let's be real. I say again, she's 2/3 leg. Everything's gonna look like a 2-inch inseam short.
Those are actually normal pants, guys.
Honestly, same. And then I wrote down "the fuck was that," but I could not tell you what that's about. So apparently something wild happens at the end, but I will give it a light yay, because I don't think there's enough of it for me to fully get a vibe on yet, but I do like that it's gay, and I would be interested in seeing more gay.
Okay. This is something I have seen before. I have read the manga, watched the anime, and watched the movie, which all basically cover the same thing, just in different ways. This is the first time I've seen the dub. So I did know the dub was really weird, but it was also funny with how weird it was. Especially hearing Misty. And that was like all I heard for a lot of it.
I was like the whole time just like, I know you. You're part of my like early like childhood development. Who
So
are you?
weird.
And then it's Misty.
It was Misty. The animation is still really gorgeous for a lot of the scenes. Like, when there's actual stuff happening, I'm not talking, like, just them walking around. Like, the fighting or, like, the scenery shifting. Like, God, it's so pretty. And in general, I feel like a lot of, like, their set choices make this feel very magical. Like, again, the forest arena scene. Yes. And it is very gay, and that excites me. So I am a yay.
I honestly, after watching it, I was kind of like, because I made the Code Kiosk comment, I was so surprised Clamp did not design some of these characters.
Oh.
Yeah.
But all I want to see is, like, I want Utah to go have drag brunch with Lelouch. And
my
then they
God.
just dish on everybody.
That'd be good.
Well, in the movie,
Oh my
Utena
God.
is actually more tomboyish. She cuts her hair. She dresses in like a full boy's uniform.
Does she wear pants?
Yes.
Oh my God. You know what? This might have to go full yay, not just so I can see the rest of. You know what? I can watch things on my own time. Doesn't matter. I'll stick with what I got.
You know,
Okay.
I have just an additional comment to make.
Sure.
Okay, so Cece said that Utah was just
That better not count.
was just
it's not.
yeah. Cece said I love girls who are princes, and I was like that's just my gender. That's just my gender.
Yeah. You Utah. I mean, like, you know, you give me Keanu Reeves vibes. That's Johnny Utah from Point Break.
Wow.
All right. Shall we talk about its competitor for the week?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Futari wa Pretty Cure, or Pretty Cure if you don't speak Japanese, like me. All right, so Nagisa Misumi and Honoka.
I'm sorry.
Yukishiro?
Those are not the names we had.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were their English names this time?
I only
Natalie
remember
and
Hannah.
Yeah, there was
Hannah
Natalie.
and
Natalie.
Natalie. Okay.
Oh my
Natalie
God.
and Hannah couldn't be more different. Natalie is sporty and Hannah is bookish. And while they attend the same school, they have very little in common. Until one day, a shower of shooting stars brings two very unlikely visitors into their lives. Mipple and Mepple, refugees from the Garden of Light, which has been
I'm still
conquered
only
by
hearing
darkness.
Nipple.
Yeah. Endowed with
Yeah.
new and startling powers, Natalie and Hannah become cure black and cure white, magical defenders of the light together. They are Pretty Cure.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Can you
Yeah.
pronounce their names like very really going in on the pronunciation? What is it?
Nevada and Montana.
I'll just Google it. What are the...
Why do they both sound like nipple?
Oh, yeah.
And Maple.
Nibble as in like chewing on something?
Mip.
Mipple and Mepple.
Ah,
Why?
Nipple and Meppel.
Dude, I don't know.
know.
It probably had a different name in Japanese anyway, but, you know, we're
No, they
the way
didn't.
we are. Okay.
They
well,
Didn't.
You know
Oh.
what? I don't know what to tell you. Gab, give us your
the Pretty
thoughts on
Cure-
Montana and Nevada.
The Pretty Cure wiki just crashed my browser.
I'm
Oh,
so
God.
sorry. While you
So-
try to reboot that.
My thoughts. Alright, let's see. What do I got here? First off, I just got to comment on like some of the things that happened in the first episode. So Natalie was like, she wished on a shooting star, and that's how she got her phone and the cards that like rained down in through her like balcony, like. But then Hannah, her dog led her to a shed where she finds a nice package with the phone and the cards in there. And I was like, why is there this package in a shed, whereas the other girl, like, it falls from the sky? I don't
I'm
know.
gonna
I thought
attribute that to nipple sounded like a man.
it was just a little weird, and I was like, okay. And then these little alien things that I could have sworn they were saying nipple, and I was like, okay, that's just what it's gonna be in my head.
All right. I
So-
think we can all agree we all heard nipple at least 6 times in this show.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And, there's the bad guy who just was so over the top. And they summon their abilities when they join hands, which is pretty gay, but, like, cute, I guess. That's... they're cute. And I don't know. I honestly thought the scenery was pretty blah. It had stereotypical music. The animation was just okay. No one really stood out to me. I thought it was kind of boring, and I honestly don't really care what happens next. I couldn't care less about Natalie and Hannah. So,
I'm sorry, who's that?
yeah, Nevada and Montana.
Right, okay.
So, honestly, I gotta go nay. I gotta go nay on this one.
Wow.
So I thought it was a little bit generic. I think the animation stuff is cute, and I thought the fight scene was kind of fun, but nothing really stood out to me. I don't know, like, I guess it felt kind of like fast-paced to me. Like, I didn't feel bored, but I just felt like, I don't know, like, it felt like any other magical girl show to me. But just like when you hear the word magical girl show, I think this is the show that you would think about. But there's nothing like specific about it, you know, that made it like, oh, I want to keep watching for this or that, you know? I was just kind of like very neutral towards it. Like, I didn't mind that I was watching it, but I wouldn't have cared if like the electricity went off and I wasn't watching it anymore. So I think I'm meh.
Okay, so out of the two that are, you know, going head to head for this, this one is definitely way more of a traditional magical girl anime, complete with transformation sequences, cute mascots, cool gadgets, and a lot of like flips and tricks. Seriously, like, what happened to the gravity? Are they on the moon? And it was so cute and colorful. It feels like somebody is trying to sell me something via a 23-minute toy commercial.
Wait, should I have included this in the last tournament?
We did have a very surprising lack of girl things in the last one.
That's true.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, this really did feel like it was basically there to sell toys. I checked eBay. They did have toys for this. You can buy them. They're like maybe about $40 to $50, depending on what it is. My overall...
For something that came out in 2004?
Because they don't make them anymore. They're worth more now.
They're worth more now, but also their 20th anniversary was last year. So they had toys come out. It's what they did with Tokyo Mew Mew back in like in 2023.
And The Sims this month.
Yep. My overall feelings about this was meh. This was fine. This, you know, it's like this, when I think of a magical girl show, Precure, despite not really having watched any of it, because this is the first time I'm actually seeing a Precure show, this is generally one of the ones that like will come to mind. But yeah, this is just kind of like eh.
Question: what category of the tournament would we have put this in if it was last time?
Cards.
It would have
Cards?
either cards or... Honestly, I'm very disappointed that the phone isn't a Tamagotchi toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was wondering about that. That could have, like, we could have thrown out Beat 'em on.
Mm-hmm.
You live and you learn.
Yeah.
Was Beat 'em on one with Jello Mommy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we all know you wouldn't have thrown that out, Envy.
That's my fault. Let's be real. Envy, try to be here as much as you can.
Yes.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Technically speaking, what you all said is true. One thing I did like about this show, or maybe this is just me noticing it, I liked how the girls reacted to when they first got the costumes on and started chanting and started fighting. They had a reaction where it's like, wait, did I just say that? Did I just do that? Because you never think about that. It's like, in some shows, yeah, they do have training montages or like episodes where they train with their powers, but then there's some shows where as soon as they get their powers, they automatically know what to say and what to do. So I kind of like the impression that the magical phone cards automatically program what to say and how to fight into their heads so they can just do it automatically. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I want to, that's my headcanon, damn it, that those cards make them instantly know what to say and how to fight to defeat the enemies. And that's what's pushing this show from a meh to a light yay for me.
I will throw out there that I think some versions of Power Rangers have had that. You are instilled with the ability to fight as soon as you morph. So, and since Power Rangers and Super Sentai is basically just magical girl shows gendered for a boy audience, I think that's possible.
And I did like the we didn't talk much about the dub in the last show, but I liked the dub in this show. I didn't mind the voice actresses. They were for the main two. I liked them. So
Yeah, I did catch Misty in this one. Sitting there like, is that Misty? And Kozi was like, yeah, she was also Utena. I was like, oh, what?
Girl got some work.
Yeah. So this one I wrote, it's still kind of gay, but it's way more implicit. It's way less cheesy than Glitter Force was, which comes way later in the series, but I did watch that. It's the only Pretty Cure I've seen. And I was kind of obsessed with it, but like in an ironic way. Like it was just so ridiculous. I was kind of hoping for that, and this just like wasn't silly enough, I don't think. I think they were still like taking themselves pretty seriously here.
I mean, this was the first one, so yeah, I would say they were.
Yeah. And the only other thing I've written down is those things are both named Nipple. Yeah, it's fine. I give it a meh. I don't feel any particular way about this. I just wish we would watch Glitter Force.
Okay, so I have also seen Glitter Force. When a couple of us lived together, we were just kind of like browsing Netflix to watch something together every week. Gav, I want to say you were there.
Yes.
I was.
Yeah.
Gav was.
Because you were
not.
gonna do Glitter Heart.
Yes.
So I do have that to go off of as like a premise for Precure. It's the only one I've seen. The first thing I noted automatically was, oh my god, the localization took me out. The Natalie and Hannah. Like, fucking heck. And then the nipple thing, man. The nipple thing really got me. The theme song was very painful to sit through. Like, I wanted to bang my head off a wall. Hannah is such a Gabrielle Montez wannabe with, like, the correcting of the equation. I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up and sit down.
All right, I gotta be real with you. I thought the same thing, though. I know that, it's wrong. You can't answer that equation.
When that scene happened, I was sitting there like, this should be 15 over pi. That's quite impossible. Oh, I stand corrected. And welcome aboard.
Glitter Force had some really weird looking mascots. The mascots in this one were definitely weirder and kind of creepy looking. At one point during the dub, instead of saying robots, they said rollbots. And that kind of took me out. I did like the villain. He looked like David Bowie in the Labyrinth.
I don't think I said that. I think that was the little pop-up on the screen.
Robots! Yes, it was a pop-up. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, this came from like I found what I could find, so like some of these are like ripped from TV. Like someone clearly recorded it back in the day.
I was cackling so hard. There was also eggs splattering on the screen, and I'm like, yes, accurate. Ultimately,
Should have been tomatoes.
I don't see, just based off of this first episode, how Precure was so successful that it has like 20 iterations of it. So like, ultimately, I'm like a 0 out of 10. It wasn't Doki Doki Glitter Force. Like, I would have preferred to watch that. But despite all that, like, that definitely sounds harsh. I'm most likely just like a meh more than anything.
Yeah, I think we should watch Glitter Force after the tournament. I'm still down to cosplay it, by the way.
I have to ask, because like this might be the only equivalent, like this is just how my brain works, but like it sounds to me like Precure as a whole franchise, is it a different team every time? Is there any continuity?
It's just magical girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is
like
this...
different magical girl teams, different themes, different everything every single time.
Just so my very simple mind can wrap around it, is this the franchise that's most like Power Rangers?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's a really
All right,
good.
I might actually have to invest in. Maybe we just have a Precure tournament next time.
Precure tournament.
I do also have to add something on here. If I wanted to watch a magical girl anime about using cards to transform into a magical girl, I would watch Cardcaptor Sakura.
Yes.
Could watch Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't think he turns into a magical girl.
His voice gets really deep.
Agree to disagree.
He has an alter ego.
Those wingtips, yeah, agree to disagree. I think the first thing I wrote down was a summary of the entire episode. 2 opposing stereotypes use alien cell phones to fight Elvira and David Bowie's love child. I guess I was happy to see Elvira and David Bowie's love child. It's overall pretty generic, and I was kind of checking out a little bit. I think the one thing that I was interested in, that I actually thought was like kind of cool, was, and this is because I'm a Digimon fan. And Digimon Tamers is my favorite series from that franchise. I like that they got little cards that could maybe give them. We didn't get into it, but like, do they give them different powers and stuff?
I think so.
I think that's how that
I mean,
works, yeah.
I'm gonna throw out
Yeah,
there.
it looks like what it was trying to imply.
Yeah, I think that's a cool gimmick as far as like keeping like a long term like, oh, every fight might be different. That's like that could be cool, but not enough for me to actually like really want to continue this. I'm a meh. It just feels so middle of the road.
What
Yeah.
I'm hearing
Car.
for you, Al, is we need to make you watch Cardcaptor Sakura.
You know it's in the tournament, right?
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll
I
get
feel
there
like
eventually.
The cards were kind of like Common Rider fruit blocks.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds fun.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Okay, so yeah, Revolutionary Girl Utena versus Futariwa Pretty Cure. Why don't we go around real quick? Gav, why don't you start us off? Who's getting your win here?
Revolutionary Girl Utah.
Gotcha.
Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Also, Utena.
I'm gonna be the lone man out. Pretty Cure. I had more fun watching it.
Huh?
Okay, I'm gonna say Utena.
I am also Utah. I never thought I'd be on the side of the Mormons.
I mean, not that it matters, but I gotta say, Utah, give me 2. Has anyone seen Point Break? I don't want to keep doing this, but like, I know I've been doing it
Add it
every
to
week.
the
Has
list.
anyone seen? Oh
Add
my
it to the
God.
To the list.
We gotta move on. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh no,
Yeah.
is that going in the yep, it went in the quote book.
Okay, so let's move on before I start breaking down the entire plot of Point Break to you. So our second matchup for the dynamic duos bracket, we have Panty and Stocking versus the Demon Girl Next Door. Okay, starting with Panty and Stocking, let's get this little description out of the way. The Anarchy Sisters, Paris and Stockholm, are angels who were kicked out of heaven due to bad behavior. Okay, I did not get a laugh from changing their names again. I'm gonna stop. They are sent
Oh,
to...
I was just sitting here like, is that their real name?
No,
That's what I
their
was
literal
thinking
names
too.
are Panty and Stocking. Sorry, what should I have
You played
changed it
it-
to?
You played it too well.
Yes.
Pennsylvania and Seattle? It's got to be American
Wow,
cities.
okay.
American cities and state. That's what I'm
Okay.
getting. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The Anarchy Sisters, Panty and Stocking, are angels who were kicked out of heaven due to bad behavior. They are sent to Datton City, a place located on the edge of heaven and hell, where creatures called ghosts have run wild by feeding on human desire. Under the watchful eye of Reverend Garterbelt, it's up to Panty and Stocking to destroy these ghosts in order to collect enough heaven coins to return to heaven. Only the Anarchy Sisters can save humanity from these monsters when they're not bickering with each other. So...
I did not realize they were sisters.
Oh yeah, they're sisters. Yin, why don't you start us off?
So I think that this is one of those shows that I like better as like clips or something. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No, I get you.
But I think like watching it all at once is almost like too much. Or it's like it becomes
Wait.
really cringe. Like
Wait. I know for a fact you've cosplayed from this.
yeah, I have. But I can
And
be
you hadn't
critical
seen
as
it?
well. No, I have seen it. But I think it's better in bits and pieces. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Not everything I cosplay is my favorite thing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to look cute.
Sometimes you just want to look cute.
What I'm hearing is you would like this out of context.
Yeah, I think I do like parts of it. I think there are good things here, but I think altogether, like, there are like problems for me. I don't know. There's stuff that I really like about this show, and there's stuff I really don't like about this show, and it's like too much to get into for just talking about the first episode. But like I have like a lot of critiques about it, but I think it's like cute, and I think like I like their little personalities, though sometimes like I think the jokes are a little bit unfunny sometimes. Especially like I said, it's good in bits and pieces, but I think it becomes like eating too much chocolate, you know? And I really like their designs and stuff though. Like I think the aesthetic is really what I like the most about this show, more than like the actual content, I guess I could say. I think like it's a fun like parody of magical girl shows in a lot of ways, and I think it's definitely like also meant to kind of be a play on like more American cartoons. I think it definitely has that
Yeah.
style to it.
It's got that like we really wish Adult Swim picked us up.
Yeah, like it's, and I'm not like sure if I like all of that with it, but like I said, I like bits and pieces. It's one of those shows that I don't think I could binge it, you know? So I think overall, even though this may be surprising, I might give it more like a meh. Like I'm actually like not the biggest fan of this show, but I think it does have good stuff in it, and I think the style is really cute.
I would say this show is definitely pretty wacky, and it's got a really distinct art style, which I'm gonna be honest, like, I was vaguely reminded of Puffy on Miyumi a little bit when I first saw it.
Oh.
Because of just like it kind of being
True.
more blocky.
Mm-hmm.
And my next thought after that was like, is this a Trigger show? Definitely a Trigger show, even though it was from Gainax. But that still became Trigger, so I'm considering it a Trigger show.
You can. It was directed by one of the co-founders of Trigger.
Good.
Like, around the same time as Gurren Lagann and a lot of those, like, where Gainax was basically just doing pre-Trigger shows.
I didn't know that, actually.
Did you not realize this was a Trigger show?
I mean, technically it is a Trigger show now that they have the license, and they're gonna, this year,
like,
have the new season coming out.
Yeah.
No, Cece's just looking really confused, and I'm like, if you took everything out and just left, like, the scene of, like, the cop cars, like, that is so obviously Trigger.
Yeah, I know. I was
Yes.
thinking that at the time. I was like, I'm pretty sure Gurren Lagann was like their first thing, right?
Again, that
Or
was
Gainax,
Gainax.
yeah. My next thought was Gur, like from Invader Zim, because that's what that
Yes.
dog reminded me of.
Mhm.
True.
And this is one of those shows that it's just like, no real overarching plot, just jumping straight into it. And for something like this, I think it really works, though I kind of prefer a show that's more, like, I know magical girl shows are more monster of the week, but I would prefer something that's, like, got a little bit more through lines other than just coins. The ED was pretty good. The characters were interesting, and I thought their dynamics were kind of funny. Overall, I would say this is somewhere between a meh and a light yay, just because, like, I found parts of it, like, you know, somewhat entertaining to watch, but I'm just like, oh, look, there's another poop monster. Ow, was that why we had a poop monster in our campaign?
Oh no, that was purely coincidental. We have a D&D thing. They were in a sewer, and they disturbed the water, and a poop monster came out. What was I supposed to do
You're
if
welcome.
you send a tidal wave through a sewer? A poop monster is
welcome.
going to attack.
I just love Tidal Wave. I can't help it.
Hey, that's great. Prepare for more poop monsters.
Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Honestly, the way Yin described it is honestly how I kind of felt too. Like I didn't know how to describe it when I first watched it, but the way that they described it, of how watching stuff out of context and then versus, you know, watching it in full, I kind of agree with that. I also did make the Adult Swim comparison. I said this would have been better if I was on drugs, and it felt like Gainax really wanted this to be on Adult Swim. I will say though, I can definitely tell that the voice actresses for the show, Monica Rial and Jamie Marquis, had a blast recording it, and I guarantee you they improvised a lot of their dialogue for the localization, because it just between
Both of them were in Ghost Stories, right?
Yep.
Monica Rial was. I don't know about Jamie Marquis, but those two and Chris Sabat as Granbelm, like they were their chemistry together was definitely my favorite part of the show. And like I understand that it wasn't Flash animation, more than likely, but it kind of felt like Flash animation to me, like you would see in the mid 2000s, like on Newgrounds or something like that.
Cop?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
What?
Have you seen Inferno Cop?
Oh, of course, I love it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But like Yin was saying, like some of the humor I laughed at, and some of the humor was like, okay, guys, you're trying way too hard right now. I can totally see why it has its fan base, but I don't know if I would join that fan base. I'm kind of like a meh, like right down the middle.
Yeah, these are pretty much my thoughts exactly. It has some very funny moments and some very uncomfortable moments.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that also reminded me the most was Powerpuff Girls. I was thinking this was a Powerpuff Girls parody. I also did wrote down they stole the thing from Hot Topic, that pet everybody was obsessed with.
You mean Gur?
Sure.
Have you not seen Invader Zim?
No.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
definitely
I
forbidden
gotta stop
and,
talking to you guys. I gotta stop talking to you guys about TV shows and movies.
Gur just
Was that not
spawned in
Cartoon
Hot
Network?
Topic.
No, it was Nickelodeon.
It was Nickelodeon, really.
Yeah.
They cut a lot of it when they aired it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was not on at 10 a.m., so no. I really liked the art style change when they were transforming, and it went to like a more realistic anime. I thought that jump, it was very jarring and very funny. That was one of the jokes that I did really like. Yeah, so I'll give it like a meh, or to a light yay. It's like there are some funny parts, but there's also some very uncomfortable parts, and I think they balance out to just eh.
So I've seen, like, episodes of this. I'd never actually sat down and, like, watched it. This is something I've been, like, tangentially aware of for a very long time, just by virtue of, like, being into anime for as long as I have. Music and animation, top tier. Like, it's Trigger. We're gonna get top tier in that category regardless. I do think, and I think Chibi would agree with me here, a lot of the humor in this is just kind of like dumb humor, and that's really not my thing.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of like crude, lower below the belt humor that it can work sometimes, but isn't necessarily great.
One of the biggest things about Magical Girls as a genre is that it was really supposed to be like this targeted thing at like younger girls and, you know, have a place for like feminism. And I think you can tell this was not targeted at girls really in general. This felt like an edgy teen boy attempt at, ooh, aren't magical girls so cool? Which is bleh. And funny enough, I held on to this. I did write here verbatim, I think this is how Japan sees America.
We had a whole month about that. We know how Japan sees America.
So, the one thing I do really want to touch on here, though, like, there are a lot of things to be super critical of with this. A huge, like, red flag for me was the caricature of a black man. And then, Envy, I know you said you liked whatever his name is, but that is a middle-aged white man voicing that black man in a very stereotypical, non-flattering way.
I mean, I know that's been a thing in recent years that people have been trying to get away from that.
And, like, the entire way that Granbelm is portrayed is very uncomfortable. And there was a part that Cece actually has noted in her notes where he said negative, but he specifically said nega, waited like a couple beats, and then said tiff. And that just, nah. You know exactly what they were trying to do there. So, for that, I was just kind of a meh, but, like, with that, that's something I really can't ignore. I'm full hard nay. I don't really want to continue anything with this franchise.
Yeah, I agree. Like, he's, like, such a big stereotype that, like, watching it, like, that was definitely, like, the worst part, to be honest. And, like, I didn't even know that about the voice actor, so thanks for pointing that out. Like, it's just really bad.
It was something, like, when we were watching it, I was like, that sounds like someone trying to sound black and like they're from the hood.
Yeah, it's super exaggerated. Like, he really is just like a caricature, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like, I don't know, like when I'm just seeing clips of the girls, I think that's when the show's at its best. And then when you see some of the side characters, especially him, and like how much of a caricature he is, and like just, I don't know, like the humor, like too much, I don't know, like it gets bad when you watch like the whole thing together. I don't know.
And I'll give Japan this, like, it's not really an excuse, but they are not as aware of the issues of how they present characters like that. And America makes a very concentrated effort to present Black people like that to the world at large. So there I can really kind of understand where they would not have understood culturally why that wasn't okay. But the dubbing team here in America, like, fucking shame on you. Like, again, you knew exactly what you were doing, and that's fucked up. Anyways, Al.
Cool, so this is one of the few shows that I've actually seen all the way through, and I'd like to point out we haven't even gotten to the part where he's clearly a pedophile.
Oh, goodness.
He's a Catholic priest. What were you expecting them to make a joke about?
I didn't realize he was a priest.
He's wearing a reverend uniform.
I thought that was just a costume.
No.
No, he's a priest.
So, like, I think the first thing I wrote was, this is the best and worst parts of every Trigger show. And, like, I actually kind of feel, in a weird way, this is like a flip side of the same coin as Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann was, like, 80%, like, epic action show, and, like, 20% really weird comedy. And this is, like, 80% really weird comedy, 20% epic action show. Because, like, we gotta give points to where they are. The car chase, some of the fight scenes and that, honestly, some pretty good shit. And then the rest of the show is, like, the Trigger humor. And if that doesn't work for you, you are not going to be having a good time with this show, which I think like you guys kind of said, and I think you hit the nail on the head. This has its fans, and it has its non-fans. On a rewatch, for me at least, I did kind of get sick of the kind of crude humor. It just gets old over time. But yeah, I could say it's like, it's fun in spurts, but like, yeah, maybe a meh to a light yay. Probably leaning more towards meh at this point. If I hadn't seen this before, maybe the jokes would have landed a little bit more, but I don't know. I've probably just seen better.
I remember I watched like the first part of the first episode. I think it was high school. I tried to watch it, and I was just so turned off by the shit monster that I was like, I'm never touching this again. And
it's a hell of a way to start your show.
Yeah. And here I was watching it again for this, and I was like, I thought it was obscene and inappropriate. I thought it looked more like an Adult Swim cartoon than an anime, except for the transformation scene. I thought some lines were kind of funny, but not for a shoujo. Like, you know, Kozi had said, it's like, you expect magical girls to be targeted for, like, a younger, like, girl audience. And the lines that they deliver and the, like, themes that they're presenting, that's not shoujo. That's just, like, it's just crude. The only thing I liked about it was I thought Stalking's outfit was cute. And I liked her little cat and the thing that looked like Gur. And, yeah, I mean, I guess, like, some of the action scenes, like the speed demon, kind of looks like a mixture of Inferno Cop and like Kill la Kill vibes, because he was like possessing all the like vehicles, which reminded me of like Ryuko and her uniform. But like that's, yeah, I didn't like it, and I have to give it a nay.
Alright, so why don't we check out Panty and Stocking's contender, The Demon Girl Next Door. After a strange dream...
Can't wait for these butcherings.
Yep. After a strange dream of a mysterious ancestor, high school student Yuko Yoshida wakes to see that she has grown demonic horns and a tail. Her mother reveals that her family is descended from a dark clan that was cursed into poverty by the magical girls of the Light Clan. The only way to lift the curse is for Yuko to murder her classmate, the magical girl Momo Chiyoda, who saved her from being run over by an oncoming truck.
Yep.
So I just want to be clear. This was almost an isekai.
Yeah, I thought it would go that direction for a moment.
Truck-kun denied.
Yeah.
How often does that actually get to occur?
I don't know. Okay, so my turn. If I can just start my turn off by saying, did someone just drop a piano? That line. I had to stop. I had to stop the thing, and I had to just laugh, because I'm like, oh my god, they actually had at least a somewhat decent writing team for this. I really like the localization for this one. The characters are cute, art style is cute. It's very silly, but in a very good way. I don't know, for some reason, I just liked this one. And maybe it's just because it's like, I know they're gonna either become friends. Honestly, I'm kind of like, oh, they're cute together. Darn it. But, you know, I think this is a yay for me. Just for now. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Out of all 8 shows that we watched this week, and I did not expect this going into this bracket, this was my favorite one we watched out of the 8. I really enjoyed this one. I like that it's a full-on satire. Like, there's been shows where demons are, you know, lose power and stuff like that, but this is, you know, a girl that thought she was a regular high school girl, and it's like, oh no, I'm descended from a demon. Oh no, I'm the last chance for our clan to get powerful. Oh no, I have the physical strength of an ant. And oh no,
ants are pretty strong.
Okay, well, you know what I mean. The strength of a marshmallow. I don't know.
Have you seen Ghostbusters?
Shut up. But you know what I mean. Like, she has weak physical strength, and she has to go up against a girl from her school that is very nice, but is a magical girl who doesn't really want to be a magical girl because she's tired of it. And I don't know. I like it when like odd pairings get together and then they gradually become friends, even though they're technically mortal enemies. And like Chibs was saying, the writing was really good too. There were moments where I laughed, and I know we watched the dub this week, and Monica Rial does good as always. But the sub, there's a meme with the show, like a famous quote from the sub, where the girl was like,
"Excuse me, I want be your friend. We are the."
Everyone makes fun of that. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Regardless if this goes on further in the tournament, I might watch it because I think it's only a 12 episode show. Oh, well, I take that back. It's a 24 episode show, but that doesn't matter to me. So I got time dilation. So.
No kidding. I know.
Oh, it's a yay. I'm a yay. I forgot to give my rating. It's a yay.
I only wrote down 3 things about the show. One, surprisingly funny. There were several points where I was laughing out loud. 2, the NPC's heart. There's those 2 girls that just hang out around the classroom and talk in the background. And they had some really funny lines. At one point, they're holding up 2 tin cans on a string. She's like, "Can you hear me?" And the other one's like, "Loud and fuzzy." What are you doing here? And then my last note in all caps was the cat.
Yes.
When the cat spoke,
Meow.
I lost it. He was like, meow. I was absolutely not expecting. Yeah, I think it's really cute, but more importantly, it's really funny. So yeah, this is a yay for me.
So, I do want to apologize in advance, because I feel very strongly about a lot of, obviously, how women are portrayed in anime and, feminism in air quotes. So, I know the original author for this is a woman, but you can tell, again, this is not really targeted at girls.
No.
I do think the dub was very funny, but they had a lot of weird shots that were very focused on aspects you would not want to focus on a teenage girl. I do think they showed that they had body pillows and stuff, which cringe. And overall, it kind of felt like moe fap material more than a cutesy anime for magical girls. I do think it was funny, but overall the vibe was just so off for me. Because again, this entire genre was supposed to be a space for young girls to explore. And we did not need to bring in appeal to men because they are not the target audience. And I think it's very, very obvious when you look at a lot of the promotional materials and everything. They were trying to use sex to sell here. And it's very uncomfortable. That's all I got.
Do you have a rating?
Light nay?
Her notes say bleh, so.
Is blah a meh?
Blah is kind of a rating.
I don't think we've used blah yet.
I would say light nay. I don't really want to watch more of this either.
I had a lot of fun with it. I'm not an expert on the magical girl genre by any means necessary, but I know the basic structure of most of the shows. I think, at least from a hero's journey standpoint kind of thing. I like the twist that we're following the air quotes villain of the show as opposed to the hero this time. And it is I do find a lot of this stuff hilarious. Honestly, the thing that gets me is just she's so pathetic that the person who's supposed to be no mercy to you is oh, go ahead, try again. No,
Let me help you improve your technique.
Don't punch like that.
Do you want a sandwich?
Here, you look really hungry.
Have you considered projectiles?
Yeah, you should not fight with your fists. It's like she's trying to be so nice about it. It's like, honestly, like the comedic timing I thought was great for a lot of the jokes that were in there. Like I genuinely was like really laughing at a lot of this stuff. I love that. Also, the world is so bizarre and yet relatable on some level because, like, clearly it's not a secret that people are magical girls or demons because no one gives a shit. Like,
yeah.
Oh, wow, you're a demon. Hey, that's something, isn't it? I think there's a magical girl in our class. She saved the world a year ago. Like, so this is just commonplace.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You know what? Let's get weird and meta with
By
it.
the way, did you grow horns?
Yeah, like, that's
Yeah.
not the first thing you ask.
Oh, by the way, very specifically, the demon that she's supposed to be is a succubus. Want to throw that in there because that was part of my reasoning. I forgot.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. But yeah, overall, yeah, I had a lot of fun. This is a yay for me. This is a funny ass show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say that wasn't already said, because I thought, like, the opening and ending were catchy. I liked the art style. I thought the character designs were cute. I thought it was funny. I guess, like, what I really liked about it was, like, how Al said how pathetic Yuko was, and, like, how Momo had to teach her how to fight, pretty much, or at least that's the path we're going down. And I think I want to see more of their interactions with each other, because I know it's just going to be like one of those, hey, I know I'm supposed to kill you, and I'm trying, but boy am I bad at it, and I guess we're kind of friendly. And it's just like, I like the concept, and all the lines, like, I did like the lines. I thought they were pretty funny. And I was kind of, like, looking at some of the other characters that showed up in the openings and endings, and I was like, I want to see those characters. They look cool. So yeah, it's a yay for me.
I thought that this was cute. I agree with what most everyone said, and I like that it was, you know, the twist of the main character's not the magical girl, but is instead the demon, the villain. But we still have, like, that magical girl aspect. Like, I thought that was kind of fun and unexpected. I do wonder what the Japanese version of this is like. Like, do you think, I don't know, like, is it the same, or is the dub just, like, changing things? I don't know, but
I have a thought on that, because I think there were one or two jokes in there that were, I recognized as, this is a Japanese pun joke that is not translating here.
So maybe it's for the most part the same.
I think it was,
Okay.
it seems at least like it's a pretty direct.
Okay, that's cool.
Plus, like, I feel like a lot of the scenarios are like, well, what would the joke be there? It's what you're seeing.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. It was kind of like a refreshing, like, take on the genre. I enjoyed that. I can see it getting kind of repetitive eventually. That's my main, like, gripe about it. I think, like, I don't know, I could see it just being the same thing where she's pathetic and the other girl is, like, kind of stoic or tries to help her or whatever, and it just, like, becoming kind of the same, like, joke over and over. Like, that would be my fear about it, but maybe that's not true. I would be interested in seeing if it goes down a more unexpected road, but right now, like, I feel like I might get bored of it eventually. But I do like what I saw. I think it's really cute for now. So I would definitely give it, like, a light yay.
Is this One Punch Man from Genos' perspective?
That was what I was thinking
I can
too.
see it. I can see it.
Genos was competent, though.
No, well, compared to Saitama, though.
I mean, Saitama's like the top.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because I was also thinking that Momo was kind of like Saitama, and that, yeah.
It might also be their delivery of lines. They're so, like, over it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other things before we deliberate?
I would like to point out, nowhere, at least in the English dub, did it say she had to specifically kill. I know her mom did, but, like, the curse itself said spill the blood of the magical girl over this.
You think a paper cut situation?
Yeah, like a bloody nose.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be a very funny thing to just say for the end of, like, we built this up for nothing. All right, Chibi, why don't you start off? Who's getting your EA here?
The demon girl next door.
Demon Girl Next Door.
Absolutely, Demon Girl.
I didn't like either, but if I had to pick one, it would be Demon Girl.
It's Demon Girl for me too.
Oh, Demon Girl.
Demon Girl.
That's a pretty clean sweep.
Yeah, I would say.
Well, okay, so we got our two winners for the dynamic duos bracket this week. We got Revolutionary Girl Utena and the Demon Girl Next Door. Shall we move on to Locked and Loaded?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so these ones, Locked and Loaded is essentially like, these shows have to do with people going to war, things like that, or like armed conflicts of some kind, including magical girls. I'm realizing a lot of these shows out the gate for these early brackets did not include a lot of traditional magical girl shows, quite frankly.
And maybe we should have started with a different set.
Yeah, so I seeded everything based on Mal score and then like averaged them to give them like a score for each thing and then did it in descending. Look, I did a lot of math on stuff and things just landed where they landed. So
He did. I watched him do it.
yeah, it was painful to watch, I'm sure. Okay, so our first matchup is Shakugan no Shana versus Magical Destroyers. We'll be starting with Shakugan no Shana. Crimson denizens from a parallel universe are feasting on the life energy of humans, leaving behind scant reminders of souls called torches. In an endeavor to put an end to this invisible massacre, warriors called Flame Hazes relentlessly fight these monsters. One fateful day, Yuji Sakai becomes trapped in a crevice of time and is attacked by a denizen. Coming to his rescue is a nameless hunter with blazing eyes and burning crimson hair. However, before Yuji can learn anything more about his situation, he discovers that he has already been reduced to a torch, merely a scrap of memory, waiting to be extinguished. Envy, I think we're starting with you.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yes. This is really the only notes I took, and this is really the only thing I could say. I get this was the point because, you're in the perspective of, the main character, but the entire time I was watching, I was like Yuji, not knowing what the hell was going on. Like it's like you're getting dropped right in the middle of a huge ass lore dump. Like it's like me going into like Kingdom Hearts or something like that. It's like, okay, go right straight in the middle of the story with no background, no nothing at all, and it's just like, okay, try to understand what's going on, and it's just like, pardon, what? At least that's how I interpreted it. I get it. He's probably going to learn more about the world in the next couple episodes, but I just felt like that was a weird way to introduce the concept of your show with the one girl, shouting out terms, and it's just like you're basically speaking another language, ma'am. It's like you and your friend, your ghost friend there are like, yeah, you can just be speaking in tongues right now for all I care. This isn't impacting me at all. So I might have to give it a light nay to a low meh for me personally.
What did I write down? Bleh, not the bug eyes. Ah, yes, I don't like this style of animation. I do not like the eyes. There's a curve of like 80s, 90s where the eyes are like big, but it's okay, and then you hit like the, what is that, like Clanod, where the eyes are like 90% of their face. And then like they pulled back a little bit. They made it a little more even, and this is right like at the peak of that. Like, I don't want to look at your face.
Biblically accurate anime character.
Yeah. He gives this whole what's his name, Flynn Rider speech, like at the beginning of Tangled. This is the story of the day I died. And I was like, no. At the end of the episode, I was like, no, bitch, this is the story of the day you realized you were already dead. This is clickbait. I just really did not have any interest in this story, and then like that kind of made me mad. I'll give it a light nay.
So Shakugan no Shana is actually one I have seen before. I watched it around when it came out. It is something I actually enjoyed watching. That being said, I know a lot of people would classify this as a magical girl. To that, I would say just because there's a girl using magic does not make it a magical girl anime. I would classify this more as like, she's an exorcist more than anything. So I enjoy the show. I don't think it should be in this tournament. I do really enjoy Shana and what's his name's dynamic. I wrote here in my notes, LOL, kill him again for the memes. And I forgot how gross the ending, like the actual ED was. Like, ugh, cringe, bad, icky, gross, yuck. Did not like that at all. So I don't know what I would give this. Because, like, in terms of the show itself, I'm like a yay. It is a good show to watch. But in terms of what we're doing for this tournament, I would be like a nay. Because, again, I don't really think this is a magical girl show.
I think the rating can be separate from your vote.
It's just nebulous.
Okay. I think the main stuff I was writing down was like solid plot hook for the first episode, decent action and premise. There's a lot of lore that I'm very interested in, but it's like they're teasing it, but not in an annoying way. And I think I just really enjoyed the start of this a little bit. Yeah. I think I have seen this episode before, maybe like a while ago, but like, yeah, it's been some time. So honestly, overall, I'm a yay here. I'm interested to see where this goes.
So I thought Yuji was kind of your average milquetoast guy, and I'm sure he like gets better as it like goes along. But like for this episode, he was just very like plain, kind of boring. I wrote down like every character's name and then like what they were so I could remember them. I thought I was like Alistair, like Has-Been Hotel, and I was like, okay, moving on.
Yeah, why not?
I thought it was confusing and want to be edgy. I recognized the OP from like watching an AMV in the past or something, and I was like, oh, they use this in their little introduction. And you know, I have notes about what was going on. I was trying to like keep track of everything as it happened, which was a bad idea because I could not understand, kind of like Envy said, what was happening. I have the, you know, flashback. Well, I have the beginning and then I have the flashback. And my whole writing, I had to cross out so many times what I was writing because I was so confused. And I was like, time freeze, baby attack, sucking in souls. Yuji makes sure that the girl isn't souped. That's why the baby attacks. Amestis reaches inside Yuji and the girl cuts him. He doesn't bleed. Is put back together. Girl fixes things. Time resumes. Everyone else is walking around lifelessly with these symbols. Oh, they're torches. They're replacements for denizens of the Crimson Realm or something like that, and so is Yuji. They don't exist anymore, I guess. And that was my description of what I wrote down.
Boy, that was the weirdest game of Mad Libs I've ever
Hold
seen.
on. No. No, it was not. I need you to go on Mal tonight and write that as a review of the first episode.
You know, I think I will. But like,
Word for word.
I think it could be a decent show. I don't think it's a good magical girl show. But this episode is too confusing for me to want to watch it. But I could understand how, like, it could appeal to some people. So I'd give it, like, a meh.
I found the show pretty boring. I did not like the main guy. And I think, like, I came in with the assumption that this was gonna be a magical girl show. And I think that's part of why I didn't like it. I was just like, I feel like I'm watching a shonen. And I was ready to watch a magical girl show. So I think, like, it set me up for disappointment. And maybe if I came into it knowing that I was going to be watching a shonen, I might have, like, enjoyed it more. Like, I might have been prepped more to, like be ready to watch the show. So I think I was just a little bit upset that I was just following this dude. And he was, like, I kind of agree, like, he was kind of just a very generic anime protagonist. And I just wasn't crazy about him. I feel like he could get more interesting, though. Like, I feel like there's some good setup here, although it is a little bit vague and confusing. Like, I don't mind that because I really hate exposition dumps. So I was okay being a little bit confused. But I just, like, it just didn't feel right because I wanted to watch a magical girl show. So I would give this like a nay as a magical girl show and like a meh as a shonen. So I don't exactly know where to put it, but it's somewhere in that realm. I just felt like a little bit baffled.
Okay, I have a question. What year did this show come out? Or, like, when were the light novels written?
2000,
like, published?
Or mid-2000s? 2004, 2006, something like that?
I think it was like almost 20 years ago, isn't it?
Kozi, you might know better than me.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. 2005 for the anime.
I was right then. Yeah. Got that range in there.
All right, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Holy fuck! The book didn't finish until 2023.
Whoa.
Wow.
Long hiatuses or very long story?
I don't know. Like, the anime and the manga wrapped up.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, so that to me makes sense because this reminds me of something that is like, we have a title character, but the title character is not actually the protagonist. The protagonist is just some dude. And you see that via a la Haruhi Suzumiya, which was kind of the vibe I got from this a little bit, where we have our protagonist, but that's not our title character, who is a lot more interesting than our protagonist. And this, I will agree with everyone, this is not technically a magical girl show, but there are a lot of similar elements that it has that I feel like a lot of people would, if they made a stretch, could classify it as one. I think we were just trying to fill the brackets with things we could find that were interesting.
Yeah, man. We had said 32 shows. It was like, there were going to be a couple.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this was really, really boring for a first episode, which is a little disappointing. The only thing this show had going for it was the OP, because it's the only thing that I really know from this show, and I like the OP. And when I say I like the OP, I like the song. The visuals are whatever. This is a little meh for me, just because it was just kind of bleh. Okay, I think we're on to the next show.
Yeah, that's everybody. All right.
Oh boy.
Magical.
Oh boy.
Magical Destroyers.
Oh no.
Boy.
Let me read it first. In 2008, the Japanese government began hunting people who identify as otaku in an effort to protect the country's culture. Within a week, the government had captured almost every otaku, but one passionate man called Otaku Hero refused to give in. He raised an army of geeks who banded together to help defend their culture. Now, the Resistance' last hope lies in reuniting the magical girl Anarchy with her comrades Blue and Pink. By combining the power of this trio, the Resistance may be able to save otaku culture for everyone. Hey, Cece, you like going first?
Yeah. Well, you can tell that she's a rebel because while her comrades were red or blue and pink, instead of going with red, she was like Anarchy. Like, she's kind of a pick-me. I really
Wait,
don't
she's a what now?
She's a
Pick me.
Pick-me girl. I'm not like the other girls.
Oh.
Other girls need so much of the color, and I'm like a rebel.
I'm a concept.
I really didn't like Hero Otaku.
Otaku
Like,
Hero.
well, whatever. I don't care.
No, he's Japanese. The last name goes first.
Oh, bitch ass nerd.
Yes.
There you go.
So, like, for most of this first episode, when, like, the story was about him, I was kind of like, I don't really care. And, like, I'm not necessarily a fan of Anarchy, but when it kind of got to, like, her and getting her team back together, I was more interested. The outro, I wrote, surprise existential Photoshop horror outro, like Undertale.
It was the cat. It was the cat that did it for you.
It was the cat, yeah. I did like that, and the outro kind of hinted that the purple girl used to be a magical girl with them, and then for some reason now she's the villain and got replaced in the squad by this fucking nerd that I cannot stand. So as long as the rest of the show is more about the magical girls, I am interested in watching more, but if it's more about Otaku Hero, then I don't care. A meh for now. We will see how it goes. Like, persecution is a little harsh, but, like, I don't think they necessarily need salvation. You can just, like, let them die.
So, the only notes I actually took for this one were taken within, like, the first 5 minutes of the show. It says, good, and I underlined it 3 times, and it's in all caps. Fuck otakus. And then, hit that guy in the nuts again, purple. The whole kind of like undertone of like, oh, we're so oppressed is like, I feel like it's meant to be like kind of joking, but it is something a lot of like self-proclaimed otakus actually think.
Is this parody or is this truth?
I also Al, I know you said you did a bunch of math, but I do think it's really fucking coincidental and that the two that aren't actually really about the girls, and it's really just about the girls as adornment to the men that have nothing going for them, ended up in a bracket together.
They're here because of war theme, but okay.
I really liked when Anarchy was, like, leading the rebels, and she had, like, this really nice character moment, and then they took it and they threw it away, and they're like, no, she's actually just whiny, and all she wants is for Otaku Hero to be her hero. I'm like, fuck that. She's the one who has all the power. Like, there is sensibly nothing that this guy, they have not showed us anything he has done that gives us reason to believe he is the glue that's holding this whole movement together, and like he's like this really inspirational figure. Like, he has nothing to him. And the fact that they're gonna take all of the magical girls, and you can already tell, and they're all just gonna be like, Otaku Hero, we so wanna fuck you. Like, yeah.
They came in, they were like, hey, we're running low on rations, we need to make a supply run, and like almost immediately he throws his full box of instant ramen on the ground. I'm like, bruh!
Also, like, they're gonna be, like, different, like, kinks for people. Like, Anarchy is obviously, tsundere. Blue is obviously gonna be, like, the, oh yeah one. Like, Purple is looking like she's gonna be yandere, but...
What's the second one?
It doesn't feel magical girl. It feels like they tacked that on. So, like, I'm kind of an A on this one as well.
Fair.
I gotta be real. I thought I made a mistake because the majority of this show had no magical girl in it, and like it was like the last 2 minutes that a magical girl thing happened. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess that's why I got the genre tag. Like, I was like, I fucked up. like, this show is stupid, and I think that it knows it.
I think it does too.
I gotta be real. Like, you know, when a show is like, this show's dumb, it knows it's dumb, it's just gonna revel in being dumb, I can kind of get behind that sometimes. Like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Panty and Stocking, but without as much shit humor. Everybody's really one-dimensional here. Like, this is just set up for dumb jokes, quite frankly. Like, I don't know. But, like, at the same time, like, if it was just on my own, I'd be like, I might give this another episode or two to see how dumb it gets. So, I'm not an A on it, honestly. Like, but to be fair, like, I don't know. I'm a piece of shit. I don't know.
What's your rating?
I honestly kind of a light yay. I give this another episode. Probably not much past that, but, like, I give it another episode.
Way to have some positive self feelings of yourself.
Oh, I've never felt good about myself in my life. Is there anyone left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, it just
like
felt like
most
we went
of
for so
people
long.
left.
I don't know. These are gonna be long ass episodes. I'm sorry.
So, in my notes, under Otaku Hero, I had leader in quotation marks. Leader. And then I had Anarchy. Red hair, magical girl?
I wasn't sure either for a very long time. I was like, you know what? I was almost thinking like, oh, she's crazy. She thinks she has magical powers, but doesn't. That's kind of interesting.
I was waiting for it to bust out like she just got into cosplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking she was gonna cosplay and then she was gonna use fireworks.
Honestly,
as her fire magic.
And then jump out of a plane without a parachute. Like, it's okay.
Yeah,
splat.
Yeah. So I was like, Otaku Hero is a scourge, wants to step down. Anarchy-chan puts on a courageous display to motivate him. They go to save magical girl Blue, who is, has some kinks. And also, I kind of agree with Cece where if it becomes about the girls and, like, the purple, like, villainess, I guess, who was probably a part of their crew beforehand. And then the pink girl with the gas mask. How has no one mentioned that yet? But, in, like...
She wasn't in the episode.
In the credits. Yeah, I bet in the credits. But I know she's coming, because they say blue and pink.
Oh, Lord, she coming.
Yeah, she's coming. And I was like, okay, so this is about like otaku being hunted by the government and a resistance forming, and it's the otaku revolution, war between government and otaku. And I was like, this is such a silly and weird concept for an anime, but I was like, it's kinda interesting. Like, the thing is, it's so ridiculous that I want to, like, watch a couple more episodes just to see, like, how ridiculous it gets. So kind of like Al's feelings on it.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of give it, like, a meh or a light yay. So, like, a may, I guess.
It's gonna be May.
maybe. Ooh.
I thought this was stupid. I think the whole concept is just like a power fantasy kind of thing. Like, I get what you guys are saying, where it's like maybe they're self-aware a little bit, but also, like, are they? I don't know. Like, otaku hero. I
You
don't.
gotta give it another episode. You'll find
I
out
don't
whether
know
they're
if I want to
self-aware.
give it another episode. Like, I just felt like it was like the girls were really just there as part of the fantasy. I don't really think it's much of a magical girl show that way. I think it's maybe a guy who has like a thing for magical girls, and that's about it. I don't know. It's just like, it just like felt really off and kind of just dumb to me. And I found the characters really annoying. I'm sorry. I hated Otaku Hero. I hated Anarchy almost as much. I just like, everybody like got on my nerves. That it was just like, I couldn't really come up with much of a highlight here. I guess the animation was fine. I don't know, like, I guess...
Hey, the little TV-headed guys were pretty cute.
Okay, that's fair. That was fine. I don't know, like...
And the cat robots.
The designs were fine, I guess. Like, there was some, like, I guess, highlights there, but it's like, if we weren't watching it for the tournament, I think I would have, like, shut it off. Like, I don't know. It's a kind of a nay for me.
Yeah, so this, for me, part of me is like, is this supposed to be satire? Because if this is satire, I feel like they needed to work a little harder on the satire. This was stupid and very over the top. Anarchy wanting to get the band back together. I want that. That's what I want out of this. And if that is more of a focus, I think yay, or at least okay. And it's just kind of like, how did the world get to this point? But honestly, it's just kind of scratching my head. This is sort of dumb. So I'm just kind of like somewhere between a nay and a meh with a lot of question marks.
I shit you not, this is what I wrote after watching the episode. I don't know if I even have the capacity to give my thoughts in a short manner. This was an experience. This was 23 minutes of a show that I watched.
It was indeed.
It certainly was.
Indeed.
I
This
mean,
is the most
I,
show ever.
yes. I will say this. I kind of like how they're making fun of otaku culture while also, I guess, kind of celebrating it because, yeah, everyone makes fun of otakus, but they're a big part of Japan, at least, you know, to a certain demographic. So I kind of get that. But, like, it doesn't make sense. And maybe it's not supposed to make sense. Maybe it's just them throwing shit at a dartboard when they were writing it. It was just like, does this look cool? Yes. Okay, let's do that then. And I do like Anarchy because I like her voice actress. She's been in a lot of recent stuff lately. She was Power from Chainsaw Man and Jolene from JoJo Stone Ocean. So every time I hear her, I just think of them. So yeah, this was a. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be opposed to seeing one more episode to see at least one of the magical girls come back. But I remember, because this is a recent show, this came out in 2023, and I remember the trailers for it, and I didn't watch it because I thought it was weird. And yeah, it's weird. I guess I give it a meh. Just, yeah, it was a show.
Turns out you can judge a book by its cover. All right. So let's vote. Cece, you're starting out. Who's getting your vote?
My vote is going to Destroyers, but they're on thin fucking ice.
Okay, I don't like either of them. in the terms of this tournament. Neither one really feels like a magical girl anime. And I hate this because if we were going to continue one, I would want to continue Shakugan no Shana. But I can 100% say that's not a magical girl anime, whereas Magical Destroyers has an opportunity there. So I have to go with them.
You could just say you like the other show better and just vote for it.
That's what I'm doing. I thought Shakugan no Shana was better. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, I'm also like CC, Magical Destroyers, but it's on thin ice.
I'm going with Shakugan no Shana. I just had a better experience with it.
I'm also going with Magical Destroyers, only because it actually has magical girls, but that ice is cracking.
So, for the viewers at home, Al gave us a cheat sheet to write our notes. So, you have the two competitors, a few lines to write your thoughts, and then winner. And my line on the winner was Magical Destroyers, I think, ?
All right.
Yeah, we were discussing this before we started recording, but everyone but Al had a really hard time with this third bracket.
Okay, so yeah, Magical Destroyers goes on to the next round. Yeah. I feel like every tournament we always have those shows that are kind of you're here, I guess.
Something had to be chosen.
You are on the thinnest of ice.
Yeah, it's really funny because I did look at a lot of the other brackets, and man, I think this is going to be the only one where it's really yeah.
Can I tell you the irony?
What?
I think as it all averages out, the total for these shows all ended up having the highest total Mal scores. Where Dynamic Duos has the highest total average Mal score. But that means that Locked and Loaded that's going up against it has the lowest average Mal score.
I mean, makes sense.
Because that's how seed brackets work. And it's, again, I did too much fucking math on this. All right.
So much math.
Shall we move on to our second group from the Locked and Loaded bracket?
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
All right. We got Granbelm versus Magical Girl, Spec-Ops, Asuka. These are actually both pretty recent, I think. So, Granbelm. After a great war, 7 powerful mages gave their lives in order to seal all magic. Now their magic seal, Magia Conatus, hosts Granbelm, a series of battles to determine who is worthy of the title Princeps. Mangetsu Kohinata is suddenly transported to another world where 6 mages are participating in Granbelm. Mistaken for an enemy mage, Mangetsu is attacked until she is rescued by Shingetsu Ernesta Fukami and her Armanox, Viola Katse. However, when Shingetsu is ambushed for protecting her, Magia Conatus grants Mangetsu the Armanox White Lily, allowing her to fight off Shingetsu's assailant. Mangetsu decides to help her new friend fight in Granbelm and make her wish come true. A lot of words in this one.
It's like you're speaking old Elvish from Lord of the Rings.
I feel like I just spoke Italian, Latin, Japanese, and something else. Oy, oy, oy. Kozi.
German.
Kozi, how would you like to start us off?
Okay, so I was not feeling well when we were doing our homework, and very jokingly I looked at Cece and I was like, I'm gonna start rating these based off of how close I am to puking. And this is the one where I actually puked.
Oh,
so she's like, oh, I guess this loses.
I'm so sorry.
Just like a funny aside. So I didn't take many notes. In fact, the only note I have on here is Magical Knight Rayearth, is that you?
Okay.
Because
I'm not going to understand that until like 3 weeks from now.
is also about magical girls in mechas.
Oh my god, I thought this was going to be unique.
Same.
I was gonna say, do the mechs start from the beginning or do they come later?
Don't tell me. I
was gonna say,
I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers.
That's a good question.
Isn't that the second half? There's
Good
like a
question.
second set of volumes.
Stop. Talk about this show.
Chibi, please. Good
Sorry.
question.
Sorry.
I do also just want to say, I know it's Granbelm, but I have dyslexia, and every time I read it, I just go Granbelm.
Okay, I gotta be real with
say
you.
that.
I wrote that so many times until I actually checked and corrected it on every form.
It was about 4 minutes ago. I was like, wait, it's Belm?
I know,
it was
it feels so wrong.
Blend. Like a Yoshi noise.
Granbelm.
I thought it was relatively cute, especially the fact that the girl is like, everyone likes my food, and they're like, no, it's just free food. It kind of tastes like shit. Like, dunk on her. I am interested in the plot as someone who was maybe not paying the best attention. There was definitely a lot of stuff going on that I was just like, But I feel like as a first episode, like, it stood on its own. It had a decent hook, especially where it ended. And they did a good enough job explaining at least, like, the basic premise of she's descended from the mages. The mages are there fighting for something or other. And because she's descended, she also gets a fun little mecha. So I think I'm like a light yay. But again, if we're going in terms of the ratings, I was joking with CC, it's a total fail.
I think the first thing I wrote was just magical girls and mecha is not a genre crossover I've seen before, but apparently it's not as rare as I thought.
Yeah, same.
I really wasn't that into the mecha designs because it's giving me flashbacks of Gundam SD, if anyone...
Oh my god, same.
I knew you were the only one who was going to get that. So I'm like, this is like Fate Stay Night meets Gundam SD, and I'm like, okay. I don't think it did anything wrong. But it also, like, I don't know, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot here that really, like, captured me. Overall, I'm a meh. I just wasn't sure, like, just kind of on the whole thing. I don't know. This probably feels wrong, but like, I guess I don't think I like chibi mechas. It just doesn't, like, just feels weird.
Can I propose something to you?
By all means.
No. This is a show definitely targeted at girls, of which you are not.
That's definitely true. I've mentioned that a few times.
I don't think it's weird that you were not very interested.
Yeah.
You are not the target.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely
Unless you want to tell us something, Al.
I can tell you a
Surprise!
lot of things,
I've been all this time.
Man, I gotta cut that. We can't be name dropping people.
Oh, I just picked a random name. Shit.
You didn't think? No, they know someone named that.
You legitimately forgot that's the name of...
You know, stop saying. We can't. No doxing today. All right. Yeah, I was meh for me.
I didn't finish the episode. I'm abstaining.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you didn't get to watch these last two, so you are. Yeah, I'm hoping
you
it's
are
not
a
a tie.
tiebreaker.
I'm hoping
based
it's
off
not a
of
tie.
how we're describing it.
All right.
I did watch like half of it, but yeah.
So is it me? Okay. I didn't have that many thoughts about this one. This was probably the one I had the least thoughts. So had it empty.
I was about to say no thoughts, mech empty.
No thoughts, mech empty.
No pilot.
I thought that one girl had a really pretty design. That girl with the
blue one?
the bangs. Her design was really pretty. That was like my one thought. I liked the mechs though. I thought that was like a cute concept, but now that I know it's not entirely original, that was the main plus for it for me was, wow, it's magical girls and mechs. I guess that's still a good thing. But overall, I don't know. I guess like I'd be curious to see a little bit more, but it's not really grabbing me that much. It's like maybe a meh to a light yay. I thought it was nice, but like,
So what I have written down is Mahou record vibes, but with chibi Gundam that are kind of like if you put armor on a Kirby.
Hey, that's Gundam SD.
It is Meta Knight.
You've perfectly described Gundam SD, or is it SD? You know what? No one cares.
But so I honestly found the premise kind of interesting, and I like the art style. I thought it was really cute. The characters are also like our main girl, Mangetsu. She's sweet, and then Shingetsu, or I'm just gonna call her Ernesta. She seems interesting, and I kind of like want to see more of her because like I liked her outfit and I liked her little mech, and honestly, I really loved all the character designs. They were just all really cool to look at. I'm a yay.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this show because it came out in 2019, and that was right when I got into seasonal anime, but I didn't watch it at the time. I always had it on my plan to watch later, and well, now we finally got to it.
Yay.
I thought it was fine. Like, it was one of those things where, again, they're shouting terms, and I guess that's the point, because, the main girl is like, wait, I was just a schoolgirl, and now I'm in another world, and there's giant mechs fighting me, so I get that, she's a fish out of water. Yeah, the animation's gorgeous. Like, I love the animation, I love the action. Everything technical-wise is great to me. Like everyone was saying earlier, I didn't realize there was other magical girl mech shows. I thought this was an original thing. I did... And you guys are probably going to groan at this, but I felt like the way they summoned their powers was like Persona in a way, like summoning their personas in a way. That's just...
I can see that.
Okay. I just thought you guys would be tired of me bringing up Persona after all this time.
You don't bring it up as often as you think.
Persona.
But yeah, I thought it was fine. It's a light yay for me.
First, what is a Princep?
I think it's the title for whoever is in charge of magic at the end of all this.
Basically,
Princess.
it's queen.
So.
Dude, I got it off of like the wiki or whatever. It's like, I don't know.
I saw it in the subtitles. I was like, is that a typo? That's not a word.
It's a word.
Yes, it is.
It's just not in our language.
Princeps is Latin for first or foremost. Title of a chief official.
Like principal.
Yes.
Is that where like school administrations come from?
Principal.
I do believe so. Okay, so it is a real word. Your objection is revoked. You're not allowed to have it.
Alright, fine. Scratch that from the record.
Nope.
The rest of my notes say verbatim, are we sure this is Magical Girl and not mech? They keep talking about magic, but those are mechas. The transformation outfit is cute, but she is piloting a giant robot.
It's not giant.
It's
Relatively.
relatively giant.
It's small.
When you say robot, I'm thinking like dog size or man size. It's bigger than her.
I would make the argument that their magic power is mechas.
I mean, but we did see them casting spells.
Yeah.
They have a soul gem, and the soul gem basically summons the robot, which is their heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know shit about this genre.
Really, the moment she gets in and the one girl's like, oh, great, fight back. And she's like, I don't know how to move it.
I need help. It didn't come with an instruction manual.
This is a mad to light nay for me. I just really have no interest.
Cece doesn't like mechs.
I don't know why I don't like mechs. Voltron's like one of my favorite shows of all.
It's not an anime.
Voltron because the mechs are cats.
It's not an anime.
Yeah,
Technically not, yeah. You like Pacific Rim, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You like something.
I liked Rugrats in Paris.
There you go.
You know what? You know what?
That is a mech
It
anime.
counts. It counts.
I liked Gurren Lagann. Is that just because I like Trigger?
It might be.
Okay, so on to its competitor, Magical Girl Spec-Ops Asuka. 3 years ago, interdimensional beings known as Disas appeared and destroyed everything they could reach on Earth. Humanity's only hope of survival relied on humans who became magical girls after forming an alliance with the Spirit Realm. After a violent conflict, the squad of magical girls emerge victorious, and their leader, Asuka Otori, retires and becomes a high school student. However, Asuka's peace is short-lived as survivors from the war resurface, and Asuka is dragged back into combat as an even worse battle looms on the horizon. Alright, so I was not expecting a combination between Solid Snake and a Magical Girl show. I was so surprised. I kind of love the speaking of Pacific Rim, this is straight up Pacific Rim's opening, where it's like, let's explain when the kaijus attack, and then we built our own kaijus. So I'm like, as far as execution and like storytelling goes, I'm like, all right, I'm sucked in already. I wrote D sauce. I don't know.
What?
Okay, so killer plushies. This feels like this is a magical girl staple, perhaps? Maybe?
Yes.
My god, they were simultaneously hilarious and disturbing. It's like, hey, let's take this fantastical concept. And now it's granted so in reality, you're kind of uncomfortable with like, oh, you dismembered my family. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, holy
What
shit.
the hell? What am I missing out on?
Yeah, you missed out on a lot, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry to spoil this for you, but it gets fucking dark fast. Like, this is a hardcore military
They returned
drama.
her family to her.
Yeah, in peace.
Oh, yeah, that was-
Piece.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Like, this is a hardcore military drama meets a magical girl show. I'm like, honestly?
Yep.
I thought it paired surprisingly well. I was like actually engaged with this. I was like, okay, all right, we're in the deep end right away. Honestly, I'm a yay here. This really caught me. So skipping Gav because
Yeah.
they are gonna sit here like, what is happening?
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so I thought the concept was really cool. I kind of agree. Like the weird like special ops military like magical girl thing, I guess, is a kind of cool concept. I thought I don't know how I felt about like the school friends and I don't know, it was kind of like that one girl was kind of annoying for some reason. I don't know, like some of the characters, like I didn't really like the dynamic with the really quiet shy girl and the really loud like boisterous girl. I don't know, their dynamic just felt kind of like meh to me. Like, I just felt like...
That's a trend in modern anime.
Yeah, I've seen it too many times and it just kind of, like, bored me.
Dude, do you realize? Those two are the characters from Precure.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Some of the dynamics just, like, felt more like... I guess, kind of like what you said, Envy. Like, more like it's just following a trend than, like, being genuine or having a real reason for them being that way. I don't know. The main girl didn't really grab me that much yet either in terms of her actual personality. Like, I think the concepts are more interesting than the characters right now. And I'm definitely a very character-driven person, so I felt a little bit of distance because of that. But I do think the concept's really cool, and I thought the evil plushies were fun. So I am definitely interested in watching more, even though the characters are just very like to me right now. So I guess I'd do like a light yay.
Yeah, I feel like for a magical girl show, this is definitely like very like grim, and I think it's exploring some pretty heavy themes, but I think it's like trying to do it with as much grace as, like it kind of can. Because this is about a girl who was in middle school who went to war, and now she's trying to reacclimate to, like being a civilian, which I think for a teenage girl, a very young teenage girl, she's definitely got some trauma. And I feel like as a concept, it's like, kind of like an interesting one to explore. For some reason, I wasn't really grabbed all that much.
Can I tell you the reason?
What? Because it's made for men?
I know it's made for men.
Yeah, I know. I know this is not grabbing me because I am not the target audience, but I'm also no longer the target audience for a lot of this. So, yeah, I would still give this like a light yay because it's like a magical girl show that is kind of like trying to explore like, oh, what's it like to go back to, life after the conflict is actually done, like for a magical girl. Because I can probably imagine that there's gonna probably be some after effects of, going through, and fighting enemies and, being a hero and then no longer being a hero.
So, I got a lot of thoughts about this episode because this was like tonal whiplash for me. Because on the one hand, okay, so I'll try to keep it short, Al. I like the idea I love the concept of a magical girl having PTSD and trying to adjust to live a normal life. I love that concept. I would like to see that explored more, in all honesty, because yeah, obviously we have Maguka where it's tragic, but it's them still being magical girls the entire time. This is her gone through a conflict, trying to live on, but yeah, it's traumatic what she went through. She lost her family, she lost a lot of her teammates. Like, that's traumatic for a high school girl to go through, and I would love a whole show where it's that concept. I did like the dynamic between her and her new friends. I do like that dynamic of the boisterous girl with the quiet girl. That's just my taste. I do have to disagree with you about the monsters. I could not take them seriously at all. I didn't think they were scary or threatening at all. They're like stuffed animals, and it's like, okay, it's like the rainbow monkeys from Kids Next Door. It's like, that's gonna scare me. Like, that's just me personally.
You say that now, wait till they cut up your parents.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't think they're scary as like a visual thing. It's more of like, oh my god, like you really went for it.
I guess, but like the characters in the show were scared by their presence, and like if I didn't know that they were murderous, monsters, like I wouldn't be afraid of them. Like the lava monster that was their king or final boss, that was more threatening to me. But anyway, I will say that I was really interested in this first episode and seeing how it would go, so I did cheat and I looked ahead to see what comes up in the show a little bit. And I'm going to take a bit of a phrase from Kozi, because I'm sure she's going to bring this up. It's definitely male gazy and as it goes on, because there's definitely a lot of gratuitous shots coming up, so that might distract from what I really wanted to see from the show. But as far as a first episode is concerned, I was mostly impressed. I give it a light yay for what I like.
Yeah, I thought this was really good at combining two genres that are pretty opposing, without really being a parody of either one. I did like that she had PTSD. I do think, maybe not to this extent, but I do think other magical girl shows could show some of that, like, oh no, you're not just like waving a wand, sparkles, monster goes away, like you are killing something. You should probably process that in some way. I think they did a good job of showing how her PTSD like affects her daily life. I just wish there was less titty of middle and high school girls. The whole time she's a magical girl, she was in middle school. She was like 13. We don't need to see that much boob.
They consider that junior high in Japan. So, junior high, middle school.
Junior high is middle school.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's, could be designed a bit better. Visually not great, but I really like the story. I guess I'll give it a light yay.
Okay, I'm kind of glad I'm going last. I'm just gonna read verbatim what I wrote down in my notes and kind of like expand on that. But again, I guess take this with a grain of salt because I was not feeling well. I was gonna give this one like as much of a fair shot as I could. Like I kind of knew about it already, and then I started watching it, and like if I wasn't already like not feeling well, like even if I had been feeling great, it would have lost me so quick. So verbatim, I cannot stand Ben. This tournament is going to make me a fucking misandrous. Magical girl genre is supposed to be for young girls and not horny virgins who have questionable interests in making their fat material middle schoolers, because all of those magical girls were middle schoolers and they were all very exposed. It does not get better. The interactions between the friend group of, haha, let's compare titties.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
Oh, that's the show?
Yeah.
Duh.
It's a show made by men, for men, that disrespects women.
Oh,
and from
wow.
what I did see, even the PTSD wasn't about the PTSD or really exploring like how this fucks a person up. It was about, look at how much she's suffering. Isn't that great? Don't you get off on this? Look at how much pain she's in. Like, it was very much a male gaze on putting a woman down, and I fucking hated it. Nay.
Okay. I'm too ace to catch a lot of that. People are into watching girls suffer? What the fuck?
I'll just wait.
I guess that's like
until...
every horror movie ever made. Except for Alien.
Oh, just
Shout out to Ridley Scott.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, Kozi, I'm a male and I don't get off on that, so...
No, like, I know, but, like, the manga's worse. The manga's actually way worse.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, this was made for men to fap to. This is not a magical girl anime. This is borderline hentai that they wanted to be able to publish on mainstream channels. And, bleh.
So I'm going first on votes.
The voting.
Yes, you are.
You guys have told me about what's coming up with the Asuka. It was getting my vote, and now I'm feeling weird about it.
You
I was
feel
like
icky.
hoping for more action stuff. I hate to say it, between the two of them, I had more interest in what was going on in the Asuka one than the Granbelm one. I gotta go with the Asuka one.
And Gab is abstaining.
No, it's me. This is hard because, like, I didn't feel that strongly about either of them. Like, I think I have pros and cons with both.
Go with your gut.
Oh my god.
My gut says let's watch Pokemon.
Yeah,
Bring back Misty.
I feel like I gave them both, like, yays.
There are some Pokemon that are basically magical girls.
Oh, good. Hey, you know what? You're not wrong. Let's not think about it.
So, I guess I like the animation of the mecha one more. So maybe that'll be my tiebreaker, because I feel like they both, like, have their strengths. I feel like the plot I was interested in more with the Asuka one, but I feel like the characters were really weak, whereas I like the characters better in the mecha one. And I like the animation better. And it sounds like maybe the other one will go down a road that I don't want it to go down. So, and I'm supposed to only be thinking about the first episode, but now I'm like, I don't know. So maybe I'll go with the mecha one.
Granbelm.
Yeah.
I'm also going with Granbelm.
So, I have to be fair, and I have to judge it purely on this episode. And I did enjoy, even though it was tonal whiplash, I did enjoy more from Asuka than Granbelm. But I imagine I'll probably regret my words when we watch if this goes on. But I have to give it to Asuka, to be fair.
Yeah, I basically feel the same. I have really no interest in Granbelm and Spec-Ops. I do want to see where the story goes.
Hey, Al, we're about to have a problem.
Hey, Gab, how quickly can you watch these?
This will be interesting because Gab will basically, she listened to how we described both shows, so basically she'll get to pick which one was more interesting to her and what would she rather watch in the next round.
No pressure.
Yeah, I'm Granbelm.
Yeah, I think we figured.
Oh, I'm the tiebreaker, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're the tiebreaker on the two shows that you
This is why we have
not
7
watched.
people.
Yep.
Yeah, to be honest, just hearing this, like, synopsis for both of those, I'm kind of more interested in the trauma. Like,
Oh, no.
I don't know, maybe I'm just,
You're sadistic.
like, yeah,
That's
I
fair.
mean, look at the magical girl anime that I suggested.
We'll
Which is
probably
Racing
find
Project.
it later.
Okay, Gav, how about this? Why don't you just Google the title really quickly?
Yeah. What
Take a
is
look.
it's Asuka, Magical Girl Spec-Ops
Asuka.
Spelled like
Okay, hold
Evangelion.
on. Yeah, Asuka. Images.
Did not think we were going to get a tiebreaker this early in the tournament.
Okay, and they're what, middle schoolers?
Middle
Yeah,
schoolers.
In the
At
flashbacks,
the
Are
start,
they-
yes.
and then they're high school.
No. Pardon my language. Why are they stacked? Like, what the fuck?
It's
Those do
bad.
not look like middle schoolers.
I will throw this out there.
Um,
Look up images for Granbelm to see if you at least like the art style.
I watched a little bit of Granbelm.
Oh, okay.
I watched, like, up to the part where the enemy, like, mechas left.
Okay.
So I saw that they were cheapy mechas. But, like, I do like the art style of Granbelm more, to be fair. I don't know, like, it's really difficult. Because I feel like the characters in Granbelm just look so much cuter than the Asuka characters.
But there's a scene where they're
Oh.
fighting naked in Asuka. I'm sorry.
What?
Is that like soon?
I don't know. It's in the Google, though.
Oh, damn. Let's see.
So I'm always,
Maybe it'll be
because I'm
eliminated
almost like,
before
this
then.
could be a thin ice situation.
It's already on thin ice for me.
What if... Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a
Oh
second.
no.
I'm just like,
I'm
okay, also
scared.
consider it's gonna be going up against magical destroyers, which is already not a strong contender.
But also, it's like, I was watching Granbelm on, like, double speed because I was like, I had to do my homework and then I had to hurry onto the call because I didn't know it had started. Because Discord notifications suck. I'm just gonna look at the opening for Asuka real quick and, like, just so I have an idea of what we're dealing with. Until I, like...
Is it weird that I didn't remember, like, any of these openings?
They might not have played them because usually on the first episode, they don't.
Huh.
I do remember seeing them. I remember the Utena one,
think
but
that's the
that's
only
probably
one I
because I
remember.
know Utena.
I remember the Pretty Cure one because it was very painful to watch.
I might have blocked some of these out.
I don't remember the Pretty Cure one.
I don't remember much. I think my brain's broken. Just for the fact that Magical Girl Spec-Ops Asuka has, like, middle school girls with their tits out, I gotta go with Granbelm. The art style's much cuter, and yeah.
Alright, Granbelm moves on along with Magical Destroyers for the locked and loaded category.
Ooh boy.
Ugh, okay, hey, we got through a week. Is everybody already tired?
Yes.
Well,
I don't know. I had fun for the most part.
yeah.
Next week will probably be much more of what we think magical girl shows are, though. So next week might be a little easier.
Maybe. Yeah. So next week, we're doing 2 new brackets here. We got Theater Kid Energy, which I think I've said before is about, like, musical stuff or things with musical elements to it. We got
Ooh,
Princess.
is this where Peachy Peachy Peaches?
Yes,
Yep.
I'll get you
Yes.
there. All right, we have Princess Tutu versus Mermaid Melody, Peachy Peachy Peach, and Magical Girl Lyrical Nanaha versus Magical Do Re Mi. Those 2 are the ones where I'm like, I don't actually know if they actually have anything to do with music or if it's just a name thing. I have no idea, but it's going to
Well-
be fun to find out.
Do Re Mi has musical elements, for
okay,
sure.
there you go, Theater Kid Energy.
Ish.
So, and the second bracket is
It's got a 4-kid stub. I will say that.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. And the second bracket is the Sup Bra category, which includes our round of magical boys, in which we have Shugo Chara versus Magical Girl Ore, and Is This a Zombie versus Cute High Earth Defense Club. I don't know. Maybe next week will be better because we're going to have some more traditional stuff, but I feel like we're also going to have some very non-traditional stuff. It's going to make things real rough. We're going to see how this all goes. This, if nothing else, I'm having fun talking with you guys about this, which, quite frankly, I think
Yeah.
is the main point of this.
You're gonna have fun until you sit down to edit this. I'm looking at our total record time.
Yeah.
We're like at 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
well, there's a lot of dead air that I cut.
You weren't around for the Shonen Showdown. The minimum length for those episodes was 3 hours.
Yeah, no, there was a
Yeah.
lot going on there. So at this point, I'm used to it. Whatever. So yeah. Hey, how are your March Sadness brackets going so far? Well,
I didn't even do a bracket.
no,
Tell you
I'm
the
saying
truth.
that to the audience.
Oh, for these?
I'm saying it to the
Oh.
audience. How's your March Sadness going? We'll see you guys next week for Theater Kid Energy and Sup Bra and wait, Cece, you had a thing.
Yeah, can I?
Tell me
I
about
do
your
have a thing. I'm doing this huge personal project in December, but I kind of want to do a test run on it with this tournament. So what I'm doing is I'm knitting a scarf, and I've assigned each show a set of colors. And every time we watch an episode, I knit that color in the scarf. So it's kind of like documenting the tournament, and I'm building it as we go.
That's cool.
And I'm going to be
Now
doing...
it's like the book thing.
Yeah. I'm going to be doing a giveaway at the end of the tournament. So there will be a Google form in the description. I will send the link to Al to put it in there. Fill out the Google form. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel and to my knitting Instagram. There will be links to that, and...
I have no way of checking either of those things.
That's fine. I got this. I got this covered.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. You got enough to deal with. I will handle all of this stuff.
I got so much to deal with.
And then just leave a comment on each of these tournament episodes saying, like, which shows you would have picked, which ones you think are going to win. And each week is another entry you can get by commenting.
Tell us what you think about Point Break. I think is the main thing that I want to get away with at this point, is just tell them how they should watch it. All right. Anyone else have anything else to say?
No.
No thoughts on Point Break?
Nope.
Damn. All right. Well,
Never.
It's on the list.
it's definitely on the list, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!